So our first topic, there was some breaking news this week in regards to DC lore. There's actually two bits of important info, and I'll talk more about one than the other because the facts are being presented to us more substantially with this. With the show Batwoman. For those... Well, let me take it back for a sec. Normally, I would... So the first season just wrapped up Sunday on the CW, and normally I would like to reflect on the first season of the show, freshman attempt, seeing how it did. I mean, it's going to get a second season regardless. But we wanted, we were excited to see where it could go moving forward. And after the season finale, which, very nice, it wasn't realistically the season finale. They had a few more episodes planned, obviously, but due to everything going on, they couldn't film. But where they ended, it was a good stopping point. But I'm not going to talk anything about the plot today because that doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
No. CW series Batwoman will be looking for a new hero. Ruby Rose, over here. Where? There. She's over there. She's not coming back for season 2, y'all.
Hold up, what?
She's not coming back. It's not a joke. It's not a late April Fool's Day prank. Ruby Rose, Batwoman, will no longer be affiliated with the show. They will be recasting for a new Batwoman when season 2 begins production this fall in time for the January 2021 premiere date.
Why?
I think that so she had there was
what's the official word?
The official word is that she's wishing the cast and crew and all the producers and everyone all the best, but she needs to move on, and the producers are completely okay with it too. There's no bad blood. What I think happened was
a little strange.
There was a stunt that went wrong on the show that I didn't know about until Ruby Rose announced that she wasn't coming back. And she got 2 herniated discs in her neck. Man. That nearly severed her spinal cord.
Yeah,
so she was almost paralyzed from the stunt.
Yeah, that is serious.
And there was also a stunt person, not Ruby Rose, another stunt person who actually did get severely damaged. I believe they are paralyzed from the stunt. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. But I know it did not go well for either party. It's a wonder she came back and filmed as well as she did, I think.
Crossover Lord, once he shows up, he can be our fact checker.
Please check, because I definitely don't have all the facts, and I don't want to exactly speculate completely. This is just my thoughts because this was put out on her Instagram, so it's not like she didn't share it with people.
Right.
I would not be surprised if she wanted to continue her acting work not involving stunts for a show that films from summer to spring every year.
I imagine that would have messed her up.
Yeah, I mean season 2 already got the green light back in the winter as it should. I think it's a good show, and I actually think it got better by the end, and I would like to do a separate CW review once Legends of Tomorrow ends, just because everyone knows how obsessed I am with the Arrowverse. So I'll come back to that at some point. I think the reality of the show kind of changed her mind. I think the thought for her was really exciting, to become a superhero, to be the first LGBTQIA plus hero on television, leading a series. Marvel hasn't done that with their films yet, so this was a huge, one up for DC in this case.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thought was exciting, but I think what was actually happening, the reality of the show was just maybe too much on her personal goals and how she wants her career to go. I think that's human, personally, to change your mind, to realize that maybe something that you signed up for isn't quite what you actually wanted. I think it's okay to change your mind. I mean, it's not expected, with something like television, because contracts, because people are locked into things. But I think in human nature, it's natural to feel that you need to step away to better yourself, even if maybe it looks like everything is okay, like they're giving you all the support you need. Sometimes it's just not enough. Sometimes you just have to step away. I don't think she has no criticism from me personally for leaving. I think if that's how she felt, then by all means. If I'm reflecting a little bit on how she portrayed her character, I think she got better as the season went on. Mm-hmm. I think her standout was the Crisis crossover, which Barny saw. I think he would agree. She was fun, especially playing off of Melissa Benoist's Supergirl. I thought that was really the character interaction that worked.
I was going to say Bats as well.
Kevin Conroy, of course.
The two of them. There was a great like little connection there of a sort of a wizened old battle worn Batman and the younger Batwoman.
When she played off of actors who had leading personas, like they were either leading characters for separate franchises or they were leading characters as part of the main crossover, like with Supergirl and Oliver and all these other characters. I think she played well. I think sometimes as the writing was being developed on the show, I think it kind of took a little bit to figure out where she wanted to go with her character, but I thought she did a good job, and I was excited where she was going to go to interact with spoiler alert here, so if you haven't watched, whatever, this is a recent thing.
Fingers in your ears,
Fingers
folks.
in your ears.
Stop listening for 20 seconds.
For 20 seconds. It would have been exciting to see how she interacted with Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne was revealed at the end of Season 1. We didn't know who he was going to be. We had no idea casting-wise, but there is an official Bruce Wayne in the Arrowverse. There's not an official Batman yet, so take that as you will. We'll get to that when we do a... plotline review and
not
stuff.
Counting Crisis. You're talking about.
I'm talking mainline Arrowverse.
Universe.
Oliver Queen's referenced Bruce Wayne multiple times in his show.
Oh yeah,
and it just kept piling on. Like, when are we going to get a Bruce Wayne? So we have a Clark Kent in the Arrowverse now with his show coming up with Superman and Lois, and now we have a Bruce Wayne as well. So it'll be exciting to see. It will be exciting to see whoever plays Batwoman, how she interacts with this new Bruce Wayne. So. It's kind of crazy. This whole thing. I don't really have much words to it. It's all still developing. If we get more info.
So as far as we know, though, the plan is to continue the series with someone else.
Yep, they are continuing the series. They got the season 2 green light. Everyone else is there. They're just.
So they're going to have to write that in, or you think they're just going to try and avoid addressing that?
I don't know.
Do the whole we'll just pretend this is the same Batwoman.
Wow, you look different for some reason. Like just a weird Don Cheadle Iron Man 2 thing.
Whoever it is can throw the wig on at least.
It's kind of like you're hitting the reset button. It's like a semi-soft reboot, like not completely because everything's still there, but you're still developing. You're getting a new actress who's going to be establishing how she wants to portray the character, how she works with the crew, how the cast will be working with her in scenes.
And I'm sure they're going to be adjusting stunts and paying a lot of care to that.
Absolutely. They just announced last week as part of the new CW lineup where everything is premiering in January that the crossover this year, while it was obviously going to be smaller in scale, we now know that the crossover will be a Batwoman Superman crossover. And the reason why it's not Supergirl is because Melissa Benoist is pregnant, so her show is going to return mid-season. So that's probably the only reason why it wasn't Batwoman and Supergirl.
Which is interesting because it's echoing some production woes that we're having right now. We have a pregnant a star for one of our videos that we
love you,
Leanne. Yep. We just gotta have to wait 9 months.
We just have to wait, and that's
months.
okay because everyone else around the world is too.
Right.
But it was exciting to see how she interacted with Superman, this Bat persona, the Superman persona. But now we have a whole new Batwoman interacting with a new character who's establishing his own show at the same time. So that crossover just kind of takes on a lot more meaning.
Yeah.
Because now you have two freshman actors in a way. Even though Tyler Hoechlin has been Superman before, you're still establishing your show because you want it to be successful.
Right.
So
right,
it's just,
right. And we know we know the team's good.
We'll find out more details on this
as
the summer goes on, as we reach January.
That's crazy. I did not expect that at all. Even when you told me you were, discussing Batwoman, I was like, okay, let's see what's going on here. I didn't
want to tell him because I knew he wouldn't know.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me, and I'm really surprised. It's kind of a shame.
It was a shame because she was really finding her footing. She was getting out of the needing to, and I say this more from the writing perspective. The character was finding her way out of needing to be Bruce Wayne and being much more of a free-spirited, semi-club owner kind of character that happens to be dark and brooding as Batwoman.
Yeah.
She was Batwoman, it was close to Batman, and that's what we want. But when she was Kate Kane, she was becoming not Bruce Wayne, which was really fun to see. And it was fun to see how Ruby Rose was interacting with everyone. But I certainly wish her all the best. I think, considering this was her first major acting roll on this scale because obviously she did Orange Is the New Black, but that was a short arc. She's done a few movies, but those are quick gigs. This was a grand scale kind of a thing with stunt work and long seasons and everything, and I certainly wish her the best. And I commend her for making the choice now rather than later to realize that maybe this isn't the type of work that I would want to do. And I think that's completely fine. I think that's completely healthy, and I'm all for mobility when you feel the need to move. So,
of course,
wish you all the best, Ruby Rose. Very excited to see where the show goes because it really did end on a high note, even though they only filmed 20 out of the 22 episodes. It was a really, really good spot. They introduced Hush, and Hush is a great villain, and it was. We'll do a review at some point.
Well, yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting to see what's next for that show. And the universe in general.
Because it's so good. But let's
the Arrowverse, which you'd mentioned earlier, and I was like, you said this the other day, but they really just, this is DC TV universe. Like, can we just give it the official title? Like,
we should, because everything's now on the same Earth. But I don't think a lot of fans will, just because they've been calling it the Arrowverse for so long. I wish it was just the DC TV universe. That makes the most sense to me because every show has excelled since.
I guess they want to pay respect to the OG of this particular universe, which was Arrow, for holding it on its back for the longest time.
If it wasn't the best DC TV product, then I'd be okay with calling it the Arrowverse, but because it just feels so definitive to me, that's why I just feel inclined to think of it as the DC TV universe because it's all been so good. And even though this is a slight hiccup, I think they're going to be okay. They've got everything in place. This is like the 6th series that they've done.
I mean, if they lost Melissa Benoist or something, that would be a different, slightly different. I mean, even so, they could survive that. But I think given the timing's pretty good, given that it was 2 seasons and done as opposed to
absolutely,
yeah.
And I don't think the producers wish any ill blood, which as they should. I think considering what happened to her, that it was like life and death almost. I think it makes perfect sense.
Right.
Are you looking for something extravagant?
Disregard me.
Disregard the man. Oh, costume change.